Big changes why you may soon have to buy more to get free shipping at one of the world's largest online retailers.
Plus, more than training, a nationally known law enforcement expert in Albuquerque today is scheduled to address a big issue the feds say APD needs to fix.
And search for a suspect, the latest move authorities are making in hopes of finding whoever could be setting fires in the Bosque. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Adam Atchison.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Krista Gutierrez. Today's Tuesday, February 23rd. We'll get to those stories in just a bit. But first, we are talking weather today.
We sure are. The snow is falling in some parts of the state, a mix of rain and snow. Kristen Curry has the very latest.
Yes, that's exactly right. Some of us looking at that wintry mix, others to the north looking at pure snow. So let's break this down for you. I want to start with the big picture here to show you mostly quiet conditions out across western half the state. So my focus right now, the north and the northeast, even east central New Mexico getting a good round of snow as we speak. But we'll start up in the mountains where we do have some light to even moderate snow falling in and around Espanola, as well as most of northern and central Santa Fe County. You see a little bit more further off towards Wagon Mound, but that band of heavy snow, the darker blue right there, that's actually the cold front that we're tracking. Not only is it helping get those showers going, but it's also going to give us some wind, and that's going to be the issue for us here in the metro. Once that front moves in, we're talking strong East Canyon winds that will hurt our snow chances. So not a whole lot of accumulation expected here in the metro. We will keep our eyes to the north and northeast for some of those heavier snow showers, as well as the bigger totals. But the statewide temps, cooler, much cooler than anything we've had over the last 2 weeks. So we'll take a look at the snow showers as well as those cooler temps coming up here in about 15 minutes.
All right, thanks, Kristen. And what she is tracking in the north and northeastern part of the state is affecting driving conditions there, particularly in and around Taos. As we take a live look at nmroads.com right now, the roads that right in and around Taos has actually been updated in the last few minutes to fair driving conditions. Roads are said to still be snow-packed and icy, so you'll want to be careful of that if your route takes you through there this morning. I want to draw your attention specifically, though, to I-25 in and around Raton and then up onto Raton Pass. Blizzard-like conditions in that area. Roads said to be snow-packed and icy, snow and blowing snow with zero visibility. So drivers are advised to use caution. We're going to keep you updated on all of this throughout the morning as we track this latest weather. KRQE.com, as the storm moves through the state, is a good resource for you.
On to this now. New this morning, a hot button issue that helps the feds, or rather that the feds told APD to fix, is set to be the lesson plan today as a former law enforcement officer turned trainer visits Albuquerque.
Later today, Albuquerque is set to host one of the pioneers of crisis intervention training. News 13's Catherine Mazzone is here with all the details on that. Catherine?
That's right, Adam. Major Sam Cochran, he's the expert set to talk about crisis intervention training, the essential features, and how a strong program is more than law enforcement training. One of the groups making it happen, APD Forward, says police in Albuquerque encounter people in crisis every day, whether it be due to mental illness, addiction, or trauma. They say these people deserve to be treated with dignity, but oftentimes they're not. In the DOJ report, the feds told APD this is one area they need to focus on, especially in crisis situations. APD Forward says that's because police are unequipped to deal with these situations, leading them to escalate, sometimes ending in violence. It's one reason why Cochran will address how the CIT basics can keep the community and officers safe. Cochran has 33 years of law enforcement under his belt. He also helped Albuquerque start its CIT program in the 90s.
All right, Catherine, thanks so much. If you do want to attend the visit today, it's at the First Unitarian Church on Carlisle from 5 to 7. You'll need to RSVP on APD Forward's website and get there early. They say space is limited.
Happening this morning, the city is stepping up patrols in the Bosque in an effort to stop a suspected arsonist. Officials say a clear pattern is emerging.
And unfortunately, over the past several weeks, AFD has responded to 13 fires in the Bosque, 15 in the last month if you take the area all the way from Bernalillo down to the south.
On Sunday, the Bosque was scorched in 3 areas. There was also a brief fire on Friday, but the biggest blaze was 3 weekends ago, and the Bosque was blackened with almost 5 acres charred. Now firefighters patrol 6 hours a day. APD also has an airboat in the river, and there's mounted patrol. City says it's also using cameras and asking open space volunteers to keep an eye out. The Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms now involved. There's a $1,000 reward for information leading to an arrest.
Now 5:05 developing now. Albuquerque police are searching for a man who left the scene of an accident after a baby was thrown from the vehicle. Police say the man was in this white SUV with 36-year-old Georgette Vigil when she crashed it. According to officers, she lost control and hit the barrier on I-40 westbound near the Wyoming exit at about 5:30 yesterday. An 18-month-old was thrown from the SUV while a 3-year-old was left inside. Police say Vigil took off. They found the SUV and her at a home in southeast Albuquerque. They say Vigil appeared to be drunk. She was taken to the hospital for a gash on her head. Both children were taken to the hospital. They're expected to be okay. Vigil is facing felony child abuse charges this morning.
To this morning, despite the state's rejection for a proposed road project to ease traffic in Los Lunas, the village says it will continue to try and get the project funded to build the second I-25 interchange. Main Street remains the only exit for Los Lunas, as well as the most convenient route for people who live between Los Lunas and Belen. The proposal would cost close to $100 million with 2 phases, one adding the new interchange near the prison and an eastward extension to New Mexico 314. The other extending through the Bosque to New Mexico 47 with the new bridge over the river.
I feel like if they do decide to go through with this project, that it will save everybody a lot of time.
This morning, village officials are looking elsewhere for the money after the legislature recently rejected paying $3.5 million to get that project started.
And happening in just hours now, a public meeting on a plan to fix the South Valley's 2nd Street corridor. The plan involves adding 2 multi-use trails, new sidewalks, and realigning the intersection at 2nd Street and Desert Road. The public's invited to join in on the discussion tonight. For details, go to KRQE.com. In Santa Fe, plans are in the works this morning for a new trail that will expand from downtown to Diablo Canyon. This is what the new route may look like. 15-mile path connects El Camino Real to a wider network of routes that can take you all the way to the Rio Grande. The project costs about $4 million. The federal government is paying for most of that.
Happening today, demonstrators are expected to stage rallies at Apple stores across the country amid the company's ongoing encryption battle with the FBI. Apple is refusing to comply with the court order to create a backdoor that would allow the FBI access to data from the iPhone of one of the San Bernardino terrorists. The company's appeal is due by Friday.
Lumber Liquidators stock is expected to open much lower this morning after the CDC says it underestimated the health risks of its flooring. CBS reported last March that the retailer sold flooring made in China that exceeded U.S. health and safety limits for formaldehyde. Now the CDC has announced people exposed to that flooring are 3 times more likely to get cancer than the agency previously thought.
Listen to this. It's a move that has a lot of people talking this morning. Soon it will cost Amazon customers more to get free shipping. They'll now have to spend $49, up from $35. Members of Amazon's $99 a year Prime loyalty program will still get free 2-day shipping on all orders. Amazon's shipping costs have outpaced its revenue.
All right, you have to see this. A lot of people are talking about one video showing astronauts passing the time in a very bizarre but funny way. It's getting a lot of attention on social media this morning. Astronaut Mark Kelly posted the video on Twitter on Monday. All you see is somebody in a gorilla suit bursting out of a bag on board the International Space Station and then chasing a crew member. No explanation is given except a very bizarre tweet from Kelly stating, "I thought you said that you had things under control up there." And that came with the hashtag #ApeInSpace. Kind of maybe a reminiscent of a movie, right?
Yeah, I get it. I mean, you gotta play around a little bit. They're stuck in that little capsule for how long?
Have a little fun. It's just, who shipped that thing up
That's
there?
what I was thinking. The biggest question is, how did they get that ape costume up there?
Hey, here's your food for a couple months and an ape outfit. That's funny.
She is alive and she is fighting for her life.
Holding on as a teen shooting victim clings to life this morning. Police released more in the arsenal of the suspected mass shooter, an Uber driver.
And going too easy? What deputies are saying about whether a former UFC champ got special treatment during a local traffic stop.
Plus, abused trust, what a worker at a center for mentally ill teens is accused of doing. That has police taking a closer look this morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to KRQE News 13 this morning. I'm Krista Gutierrez.
I'm Adam Atchison. Good to have you along. Today's Tuesday, February 23rd. We'll get to the top stories here in a moment, but first, some parts of the state are seeing snow, even some rain this morning.
Yeah, including the metro. Kristen Curry is tracking it all. Good morning, Kristen.
Good morning, guys. That's exactly right. Winter weather to start our Tuesday morning. I want to start with a look at the radar. If we can get that up here, maybe not. The snow was up to the north and the northeast. There we go. This heavy band right here is actually a cold front, and that's what I'm tracking right now. It's the heaviest snow falling within the state. Clipping far portions of KRQE County, moving closer to Santa Rosa. We'll also be watching DeBaca. You guys are next when it comes to the heavy snow. It's also very windy out there. Those gusty winds only going to get stronger here in the metro. So they're actually fairly light right now. We do have some flurries out against the foothills on the east side, but the winds will really pick up here within the next hour. And that's my biggest concern, because I do think it's going to eat away some of our snow chances that we have this morning. Take a look at those temperatures in the 30s and 40s out there. Most of us won't get that much warmer today. Mid 40s at the warmest today here in the metro, a good 5 to 10 degrees colder than what we had yesterday. The snow will continue to push to the south and east, although we're still looking at the best accumulation out of the northern mountains and the northeastern plains. We'll be looking at the cooler temps statewide, but by tomorrow, it's like none of this happens. Sunshine and warmer temperatures on the way for our Wednesday. So I'll break down today's forecast, including the rain, the snow, and the wind, coming up here in about 15 minutes.
All right, Kristen, thanks so much. What she's tracking right now is affecting driving in some parts of the state. Fair driving conditions in and around Taos, where they're talking about slushy conditions that drivers may face on some of the highways there. I want to draw your attention, though, more specifically to I-25 in and around the Raton area and Raton Pass. Right now, icy conditions, very difficult driving conditions, especially on I-25. We are going to keep on top of everything. If your route does take you through there, just know that you want to stay with KRQE this morning and the KRQE News app as we keep you posted on the weather moving into our area. Breaking overnight, Albuquerque police are looking for the person responsible for a shooting in northeast Albuquerque. Just before midnight, police say a man was shot in the back in the 3900 block of Tulane. Police say the man was at a party when a stranger shot him. Right now, he's recovering from those injuries at hospital. Police say those injuries are not life-threatening, and he is expected to be okay.
To this now this morning, a female staffer at a treatment center for violent and mentally ill boys is facing a rape charge. According to a state police report, the sexual relationship went on last November and December at Sequoia Adolescent Treatment Center. That's in Albuquerque. The staff member worked at the inpatient facility for boys ages 13 through 17 for a little more than a year, doing psychiatric work with the kids. She's also facing criminal sexual contact charges. Another resident told staffers about the accusations when he was being discharged.
And during an exit interview, he brought up a very broad allegation that there might be an inappropriate relationship between an employee and another resident.
State police did swab the facility and collected evidence. They also have surveillance video. It's all in the hands of the DA's office this morning, who will determine possible charges. The staff member resigned last month.
Developing this morning, the family of a man killed in a deadly shooting involving the U.S. Marshal's Office says they're working to get a lawyer today.
They had told us that they had accidentally killed my cousin, that it wasn't him who they were looking for. Now they just got the two people that they were looking for, and so what's going to happen with my cousin?
That's the cousin of 23-year-old Edgar Camacho Alvarado on Saturday, claiming the feds shot him by mistake. He lived in a trailer park where U.S. Marshals went to arrest murder suspect George Bond. Camacho Alvarado's grandfather says his grandson was working on his truck outside the family's home, 3 doors down from where Marshals arrested Bond hours later. The Marshal's office is remaining quiet today on the confrontation they say led to shots being fired.
The saga continues today for former UFC champ John Bones Jones as he awaits a court date next month. This morning, BCSO is denying they gave the fighter special treatment during his latest run-in with the law. Deputies say last month Jones was pulled over for going 75 in a 35. That was on Alameda. He was cited for speeding and for not having a license, insurance, or registration. The car was even towed. But the deputy told Jones he was letting him off easy. Take a listen.
I mean, going 75 is pretty much reckless driving, dude.
Yeah, that's
you know
what he was telling me.
So you're getting a huge break, dude.
Reckless driving can result in an arrest. However, BCSO says Jones was treated like anyone else and that speeding alone is not reckless driving by itself. Jones is currently on probation for a hit-and-run wreck where he hurt a pregnant woman. then took off. Jones did not get a probation violation as a result of his latest traffic stop.
Time is 5:35. Let's take a live look at the White House on this Tuesday morning. It's another key day in the race for the presidency as voters in Nevada prepare to make their choice for the Republican nominee. After winning primaries in both South Carolina and New Hampshire, frontrunner Donald Trump is looking to beat rivals Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio once again. Cruz is going into today's contest without one of his top aides after firing him over a misleading video suggesting Rubio insulted the Bible. Meanwhile, former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson hit the campaign trail for Hillary Clinton. He spoke at an immigration forum in San Antonio yesterday, hosted by Clinton.
Just some breaking overnight news now. A teenager hurt in a helicopter crash at Pearl Harbor has died. The 16-year-old boy was one of 5 people on board this chopper when it went down in front of bystanders on Thursday. He was pulled from the water, still strapped into a seat. 2 other family members remain in the hospital this morning. A third has already been released. The crash happened near the USS Arizona Memorial that's in Hawaii. It was captured on video and quickly went viral.
As you wake up today, a 14-year-old girl is fighting for her life in a Michigan hospital. This despite doctors earlier declaring her brain dead following a shooting rampage over the weekend. Police say Uber driver Jason Dalton killed 6 people at different places over 5 hours. 14-year-old Abigail Kopp was one of the victims. She was shot in the head. Doctors say just as she was put on a list to donate organs, she was able to squeeze her mom's hand and give them a thumbs up. Prosecutors, meantime, say they've recovered Dalton's phone and a handgun pistol consistent with shell casings from all 3 crime scene shootings. He also allegedly had 11 rifles in his home, and yesterday he allegedly confessed to those killings. But her recovery story, so far anyway, even though she's still in critical condition, is one of the biggest talkers of all this.
Yeah, could you imagine being her mom at that moment?
Had to be just an incredible feeling. We'll hope for the best for her.